Glenn spoke earlier this week with presidential candidate Newt Gingrich. The two disagreed on just about everything. Is there any way Beck could be behind Gingrich in 2012? Our good friend Glenn Beck, author of the terrific new book, Being George Washington, is back with us now.
I think he's the only candidate that I cannot vote for.
You challenged him at the core of his beliefs.
He's a progressive.
He made the mistake of saying to you that his favorite president of the United States was Theodore Roosevelt,
right.
The original nanny stater.
He said before he gave his progressive speech, before he did that. Well, Newt, I read history. I know exactly who Teddy Roosevelt was. I know he did the FDA, and it's not just about sausages. He said, well, we want to make sure that people aren't falling into sausage factories. Yeah, we do.
He believes that stuff from Upton Sinclair's.
Please, yeah, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I issued a challenge to the Tea Party members.
What's the challenge?
The challenge is this. You read his record. You read his words.
You're talking about Gingrich.
Gingrich. Not just the happy parts like you read about Theodore Roosevelt. Look into his record. See what he believes. This man is a progressive. He knows he's a progressive. He doesn't have a problem with being a progressive. So if you've got a big government progressive or a big government progressive in Obama, one in Newt Gingrich, one in Obama, ask yourself this, Tea Party. Is it about Obama's race? Because that's what it appears to be to me. If you're against him, but you're for this guy,
what kind of sense does that make?
It must be about race.
It must be about race.
Well, I mean, what else is it?
Because there'd be very little difference on their
matter.
Policies.
Absolutely. It's the policies
Absolutely.
that matter.
But here's the other thing. Gingrich is so polarizing. If he is the Republican nominee, the Democrats may succeed in turning the campaign away from the president's miserable 3 years in office onto the personality and the personal background and the wacky ideas of Newt Gingrich.
It is the establishment in Washington clawing for power, just clawing for power. He makes Mitt Romney look like a small government guy.
All right, but Mitt Romney also loves government.
Yes, he does.
Mitt Romney believes that the solution to health care issues is government intervention. And, I know he distinguishes between what you can do in the Massachusetts
He's not my candidate.
and the federal
He's not my candidate. I could pull a lever for him. I would do it against my will. I mean, it would kill me to do it. But he's not Barack Obama. Newt Gingrich has all of the earmarks.
How do you explain Gingrich's rise in the past 2 months, and do you think he can sustain it past Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina?
Government, GOP machinery.
Yes. Yes, the GOP machinery wants somebody as volatile as Gingrich rather than someone as establishment as Romney?
I think that Newt Gingrich is very good at his language. He's very good. He knows history. He knows it. He knows which parts of Theodore Roosevelt to highlight, which to keep under the carpet.
Right. All right.
He knows it.
What do you think of Ron Paul? You agree with much of what Ron Paul says.
I do. Here's where I disagree vehemently with Ron Paul on Israel, and I disagree vehemently on his foreign policy. Now, here's this trouble I have. I'm a fan of Santorum. I think Santorum is too big military interventionist over the Middle East. Ron Paul is not enough. I'm between those two.
Okay, but on the economy, on the proper role of the federal government in our lives, you're right with Ron Paul.
You know, the Fed now has 16 of the biggest hedge funds advising them. An unregulated hedge fund group going in and meeting and advising the Fed. You want to know why the stock market goes up every time they release money? Because these guys they're stealing our money.
Glenn,
close them down.
I miss you. Thanks for joining us.
Always
a pleasure, my friend. Could the government...